turn on co-host, but I don't know how to do that. So that's okay. We are now being live streamed, so we're good to go. All right. So we're being live streamed over on YouTube. We're ready to rock and roll. So once again, thank you for joining me. Joe's got this morning off and asked me to be able to fill in on the X-Node training. Again, my name is Travis Flaherty. I'm the IX Global Debt Ambassador. And first of all, a couple of announcements for you guys. Number one, you may have recently heard or seen, but the NatG licenses are close to being sold out. The NatG licenses are close to being sold out. So as of Monday, we had about 350 licenses left. I would guess that that's now under 300. And I want to talk a little bit about NatG for just a moment. I really like the NatG project. It's where I started. It's my foundational project. And I look at that as more of a long-term hold project, but I believe that it has some of the greatest upside potential of all of the projects that we currently offer. And let me tell you why I say that. So currently, and again, this is a good time for a disclaimer here real quickly. So I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice that I'm giving you. I'm just going to share some opinions with you. Investing in cryptocurrency is risky, and there may be no recourse for losses that are incurred, and past performance does not guarantee future results. So with that, I like NatG. If you look at the token or the rewards that are currently being paid out right now, it's about 16,000 tokens per day. And that allows you to be able to put yourself into a position of mass accumulation. It allows you to be able to accumulate as many tokens as you possibly can. And I'm going to say something, and I'm going to suggest that you write this down and you learn this language and you share this language with others. And that language is the decisions that you make in a bear market, the tokens or coins that you accumulate in a bear market will ultimately build you wealth in the next bull run. I'm going to say that again. The tokens, the decisions that you make in a bear market, the tokens that you accumulate in a bear market will ultimately build you wealth in the next bull run. Right now, I am focused on accumulation. I'm not focused on price. Right now, I am focused on value. I am not focused on price. And we're going to be talking a lot about that today. NatG, there's some that can argue that you could go buy 3 or potentially 4 aluminum licenses and get to the same, for the same price as NatG. And an aluminum or an Explorer license is very comparable when it comes to the cash flow or the daily payouts right now from a dollar perspective. So some people might say, well, why wouldn't I go buy, 3 or 4 aluminum or Explorer? That may be the best scenario for you. But for me, when I'm talking to my prospects, I'm always asking questions. Questions are the answers. And I'm going to be getting into that today. And so I find out what's important to them. Is cash flow more important, or are they looking to build long-term wealth? Are they looking to put themselves into a position over the next 3 to 5 years that potentially they have the opportunity to be able to have enough income now that they can live the quality of life that they want to live? So understanding what's important to your clients is how you establish value, and dollars always follow value. I was talking with somebody yesterday, and they said, well, I'm kind of interested in both. I'm interested in cash flow, but I'm also interested in that long-term upside potential, right? And by the way, potential is your favorite word, potential. We don't offer guarantees. We don't offer ROIs here, but we do offer potential. And so with that, he said, I've got about $10,000 to spend. And I said, okay, well, let's talk a little bit about some of the different projects. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but my goal is to educate you so that you can make a well-informed decision, right? That's what we do as network marketing professionals is we notify people of what we're up to. We invite them to take a closer look. We follow up and we educate, right? We answer questions, and then we collect decisions. Those are the 4 things that we do as network marketing professionals. We notify people of what we're up to. We invite them to take a closer look. We follow up, we answer questions, and we collect decisions. And that's it. That's all we're doing. So for me, I said, well, let me just educate you about, first of all, natural gas. Natural gas, we have more natural gas by volume, by supply, and by dollar amount than any other commodity-backed project that we offer. It offers what I believe to have some of the greatest upside potential. With that being said, and it also allows you to be able to be in a mass accumulation stage where you can accumulate as much as 16,000 tokens a day. At least right now, there's no guarantees in the future that it'll stay there, but that's where we're at today. And over time, it does take a little bit longer to extract natural gas. It's deep into the ground. It takes a lot longer to get it set up to be able to do regular extractions, which ultimately lead to regular burns and so on and so on. But over time, as the tokenomics kick in, as more and more people are transacting, as we are regularly getting in our royalties from the sale of that natural gas, I believe that project will has wonderful upside potential, but it's going to take a little longer. It's going to take some time. On the other hand, you have projects like aluminum that are already producing now. They're already generating. We're already mining. The mines are already up and running. We'll be there in about a little over a week, bringing a lot of video footage back to you guys so that you can see a lot of our debt partners that are in Africa. And so if you compare the two from a cash flow standpoint, they're very similar on a day-to-day basis. But if you look at the amount of coins that are being paid out on aluminum, it's far less. I don't have the number in front of me, but you're looking at significantly less tokens on the aluminum side, maybe hundreds as opposed to 16,000 per day. Now, here's the reason why I think that NatG offers a tremendous upside potential. If you're accumulating at 16,000 tokens a day, 160,000 tokens every 10 days, you're essentially accumulating 80,000 tokens in a month's period based on today's payouts. And you do that month to month over the course of the next year, you've now accumulated millions of tokens. Now, what happens if we burn a 0 or 2 zeros or 3 zeros? What happens if we hit a penny? What happens if we hit 5 cents? Or what happens if we hit $1? It's kind of hard to let your mind go beyond that, right? And you're holding that many tokens. On the other side, aluminum, the payout or the amount of tokens that you're accumulating is less, but the dollar value is higher. The value of those tokens is higher. That's why they're pretty similar when it comes to the cash flow on a daily basis right now. So the question that you have to ask is somebody looking more for long-term potential, or are they looking more for cash flow? If cash flow is their goal right now, and they want to start building up a passive income, then you might want to give them the most bang for their buck in projects like Aluminum or Explorer. But for those of you that are thinking that you missed the boat with NatG, guys, at $6,000, it's a phenomenal price point. Number one, debt's retailing them for $72,000, but just the fact that you can accumulate that many tokens every single day right now is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal opportunity. And might I add, what if you were to go rent 10 of them? Maybe you buy one, but you also rent 10 on top of that. And now you're accumulating as if you own 10 licenses. It would cost you literally $60,000 to go buy 10 licenses right now, $60,000. But you can accumulate as if you own 10 licenses over a 60-day period for $2,500 and allow you to be able to accumulate a large amount of tokens. So I love NatG. I think that the NatG project is going to sell out quickly. I'm very, very happy that I started with that project. I'm a long-term holder. I am here. I like the idea of the daily cash flow potential. And I do pay attention to that. And I do participate in projects that also allow me to be able to build that up. But I'm very interested in putting myself into a position over the next 3 to 5 years that allows me to be able to do the things that I want to do rather than the things that I have to do. So if you're on this fence and you're thinking about, should I pick up a NatG license? The answer, in my opinion, is 100% yes, absolutely. Also, what's going on in our community right now. So you may have recently heard the news that Aluminum, if you weren't on the Monday call, Joe announced that Aluminum and Explorer are going up next week. So Aluminum and Explorer are going up next week, and they're going to go up. I believe they're doubling in pricing. So why is that? Because what happens is as we start to sell more licenses, as the tokens start to come up in value, they're now on the exchanges. When we first come out, we come out with promotional pricing because we're not yet on the exchanges. We haven't really got the tokenomics haven't kicked in yet. So now we're starting to see those projects do well. You're going to see the price points come up. So if you want to take advantage of promotional pricing, maximize your profitability, then might I suggest that you take advantage of those prices where they are right now before they go up. Also, we mentioned that there would be a Aluminum and Explorer rentals being released this week. We've decided to postpone that until next week. So just look for some of the announcements, get on that Monday morning call, and you'll be getting some more updates on the update call with Joe Martinez. So that's really all the announcements that I have for today when it comes to what's going on inside of the community. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about value versus price. And I want to talk a little bit about how to build that value, because dollars follow value. So many people are trying to sell the price points or ROIs. And let me tell you guys something. We are not an ROI company, right? There's companies that are out there, companies like Novatech and other companies that are a target right now. And the reason why they're a target for all of those different organizations that have three letters is for this reason, because they're out there talking about guarantees, 3% guarantees, 4% guarantees on a weekly basis. You can't do that. You can't offer a guarantee. You can't offer an ROI, because the moment that you do that, you're putting yourself into a position where you're selling a security, you're not a financial advisor, and you can't offer guarantees, period. And so a lot of people call me and they'll say, hey, what can I expect to make on this in 30 days? Well, that's a difficult question, because number one, I can't guarantee you anything. I can tell you what it's doing today, but there are no guarantees in this particular business. And on the rental side, a lot of people, they feel that they need to rely on selling an ROI to be able to get someone to get involved in rentals. And you don't have to do that if you understand how to build value. You see, for me, the value is centered around asking the right questions and ultimately helping someone to understand what it is that they really want to accomplish. And I'm going to take you through this process today so you can see what that looks like. The value for me is helping someone that can't afford to buy a license get on a path that's going to put them into a position that they no longer have to say that ever again. If I'm sitting down with someone and they say to me, Travis, I would love to do this, but I just can't afford to buy a $1,500 Explorer license right now. What I'm going to say to them is, okay, well, number one, would you agree that what you're doing right now is not working? Would you agree that if you continue to do the things that you've been doing up to this point, that you're not going to achieve the goals that you have for yourself financially, let's just say over the next 3 to 5 years? Yes. So what you're saying is something has to change. Yes. Right? So number one, right up front, I'm going to help them to come to a realization by asking the right questions that something has to change. Because if you're in a position right now where you can't afford a $1,500 license, then what does that say? It says that whatever you're doing is not working. So then my follow-up question would be, if I could put you on a path that allowed you to start accumulating some tokens that have tremendous upside potential, would that be something that you would be interested in? If I can put you into a position where you can at least start to develop and create a little bit of passive income, would that be worth $250 to you? Do you think that it would be wise to be able to take a little bit of the cash that you may have, even if it's just $250, and put it to work so that you never have to say to me again, I can't afford a $1,500 license? Do you think that it would be smart to take that first step towards developing some level of financial security for you and your family at this point in time? And I understand that you can't afford a $1,500 license, but if I can put you into a position where you can start accumulating tokens on a daily basis, and you could do that over the period of the next couple of months for less than $5 a day, right? For less than $5 a day over the next 60 days, would that be something that you'd be interested in, right? It's $250, right? So you're talking about, it's less than that. I mean, you're talking about what, 60 days, $4.25 a day over 60 days? Would that be worth $5 a day to you to be able to start accumulating tokens that have tremendous upside potential, but also offer daily cash flow should you need it? See, what I'm doing is I'm asking questions. Guys, people don't want to be sold. Everybody wants to buy, but nobody wants to be sold. Nobody wants to be pitched, slapped. And when you're out there trying to talk about price and ROI, all you're doing is selling, selling, selling. And you know what everybody's doing? They're putting up a wall at a subconscious level. You'll never win if you're playing the price game. You'll never win if you're focusing on ROIs. You want to know the number one reason that people leave network marketing? because people set false expectations. You know why they do it? Because they haven't learned to develop the skill sets to be able to truly build value. I don't talk about ROI ever. I don't talk about, price today. You know why? Because I help people understand that the decisions that you make in a bear market, the coins that you accumulate in a bear market will ultimately build wealth in the next bull run. In 2018, I was involved in crypto. 2017, 2018, we had a crash in the industry. And Bitcoin went from 69,000 to 3,000. Ethereum lost 94% of its value. Mining programs across the board got shut down in Ethereum. And I was part of them. I was the one that at that point, I was the one at that point that was out there saying, go buy and accumulate. Buy as much as you possibly can because everything is on sale. You know what the rest of the world was doing? They were out there saying, it's over. The bubble burst. All the people on social media came out. The I told you so people came out, right? Anytime crypto goes down at all the I told you so people love to come out of the woodworks, right? Oh, where's all those Bitcoin people now? You see the posts that are out there. So I was out there saying, look, this is the time that you want to accumulate. And what happened? A few years later, Bitcoin goes to 69,000 and Ethereum goes to 3,000. We are in a similar situation right now. And the decisions that you make right now can change your life 3 to 5 years from now. That is what you need to be talking about with your prospects. Not how much are you going to make this week or next week, but what can you do to be able to help them realize their goals and their dreams and to be able to declare their financial freedom day. Now, we can't guarantee anything, but what I can tell you is, historically speaking, this is what the crypto industry has done previously, and I believe that it'll do it again. Now, let's talk a little bit more about value and what we bring to the table and how to establish value in the projects, how to establish value in the ecosystem, how to establish value in, the opportunity that we bring to the table. Let's talk about that for a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up. Now, some of you had a chance to see this when we were in Barcelona. Excuse me, some of you did not. So I'm going to pull up a presentation and I'm going to take you through as if you were my prospect, and I'm just going to have a conversation with you and I'm going to ask questions and I'm going to help you to understand that through this process of asking questions, why my average sale is well over $10,000 per sale, why I don't have people that are calling me every single day wondering why NatG isn't going up. It's because I know how to build value and set the right expectations. So let's talk a little bit about that for just a moment. So first of all, I believe that questions are the answers. Questions are always the answers. And what I do is I always like to start off by asking people, listen, would you agree that it's a good idea to diversify in a down market? Would you agree that it's not a good idea to put all of your eggs in one basket? I've never had somebody look at me and say, no, I don't think that that's a good idea. Of course it is, right? I mean, anytime that there's a down market and a recession, it doesn't make sense to have all your eggs in one basket. I have a lot of friends right now that their 401ks are down 35 to 50%. I have many friends that have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I have relatives that have lost millions of dollars. So in that circumstance, in that situation, do you think that it's a good idea to diversify and develop multiple streams of income? Yes. All I'm looking for here is reaffirming answers from them. Why? Because I want them to sell themselves. Number two, are you currently getting the results that you desire? Are you currently getting the results that you desire from your 401k? Are you currently in a financial position that you want to be in today? No, I'm not. Okay. So how long do you think that it will take to recover what you've lost, especially under the current circumstances economically? I don't know. It could take a long time. I mean, I really don't know. I may not have that time. I'm retired and I may not have the time. Do you think that it could get worse before it gets better? Yes. Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. How would it make you feel if you were to continue to lose more and more and more of your portfolio? I think it'd feel pretty bad, right? One of the most powerful questions that you can ask someone is, how would it make you feel? Hey, listen, how would it make you feel if you had an extra $5,000 a month of passive residual income? What would that do for you? Well, it'd allow me to have some peace of mind. It would allow me to be able to spend more time with my family. It'd allow me to be able to pay down some debt and to have a little more peace of mind. What's peace of mind worth to you? It's priceless. How would that make you feel to be able to do those things? Oh, it would feel incredible. Why? Because people make emotional decisions. So you help them to get to that point where they start to think about what it would feel like to be able to buy that dream house, dream car, take that dream vacation, to be able to pay down some debt, to be able to donate to some charities, to be able to spend more time with their family, to be able to tell the boss that they hate, I'm done with you, right? How would that make you feel? So what you're saying is something has to change. Yes. Okay. What's the most important thing to you? Is it making up your losses or is it cash flow? You need to understand what your prospects' goals are. You can't understand what their goals are if you're just talking. You need to learn to listen, right? God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And so many people want to get into the look, man, let me tell you all about this project. Let me tell you about the deflationary mechanisms. We've got these different projects that are backed by oil and gas and black gold went up this amount. And you know what? Created all these millionaires and blah, 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 blah. And you can get in. And you know what? They're not listening. When you're selling, you're not serving. When you're selling, it is a selfish proposition because you are pitching somebody and nobody wants to be pitch slapped. How much money would you need to earn? If somebody says to me, well, look, I'm really interested in cash flow. I'm retired and I really need to have some monthly revenue. Okay, how much money would you need to earn on a monthly basis to be able to make a difference in your household? $1,500 a month would make a huge difference. Well, how? Tell me how. Well, it allowed me to be able to breathe a little easier and have a little bit of extra money to pay for gas and food. Things have gone up considerably right now. It'd mean that I wouldn't have to go get a second job so I can stay home with my children. How would that make you feel? It'd feel pretty amazing. Okay, well, then let me ask you a question. Do you think that it makes sense to liquidate a small percentage of your overall portfolio to help you diversify and to help you hedge the losses that you've had over here while also creating positive monthly cash flow potential? Does that make sense to you? Now you can explore some different projects, right? So some possibilities. So, I had someone that we were working with. This individual had lost about $140,000 this year in their 401k. It's all the money that they have. They're in a position where they are retired and cash flow was important to them. And so we went through this process and she acknowledged that what she was doing was not working. She was not getting the results that she wanted, that it could get worse before it gets better, and ultimately believes that diversification does make sense. And so then I asked her, would it make sense to take a small percentage, let's say 10% of your portfolio, which to her was approximately $45,000, to be able to pick up some licenses that not only offered cash flow, she wanted cash flow, but she was also interested in growing her portfolio. And so I said, well, let's take a look at this. And so we looked at what 10 NatG licenses would do, because NatG is still in an accumulation phase. It pays out a good amount of tokens. So it allows her to be able to accumulate 16,000 tokens a day. But 10 NatG licenses is also paying out approximately $70 a day right now. Again, there's no guarantee that it'll continue to do that. I make sure that they understand that is a risk. But based on today's values, here's where it's at. Here's what it's doing. Here's what NatG has done since it started. It started at 5 zeros and a 1 on May 1st. Today, it's at 3 zeros and a 4. It's gone up about 4,000% since May 1st. We've got a tremendous amount of natural gas in reserve, more so than any other commodity that we have. And so with that, we looked at that, $70 a day. It may not sound like a lot, you guys, but $70 a day is $2,100 a month. $2,100 a month is approximately, you're looking at $25,000 a year. It doesn't matter if it's $200 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month. Residual income is residual income. The goal is to eventually develop enough residual income that it exceeds the amount of money that you have coming in the door. Why? Because that's when you could declare freedom. Your financial freedom day is the day that you no longer have to trade time for dollars. You can do the things that you want to do rather than the things that you have to do. If you're taking notes, write down Financial Freedom Day. Write that down, circle it, underline it, and then I want you to put a number below it. That number represents the amount of income residually that you need to have coming in to no longer have to go to work if you don't want to. right? No longer have to, go to that second job or whatever the case is. What does that passive number look like to you? What you have to understand is passive income is priceless. It doesn't matter if it's $200 or $2,000 a month, because even $200 a month is worth $2,400 a year coming in. $2,400 a year, the annual, if you look at the average value of a residual income, it's 10 to 20 times the annual income. So if I have $2,400 a year coming in from one license, and that's it, that's all I had coming in, that income is valued at $24,000 to $48,000 simply from the standpoint that it's residual income. Why? Because it's passive. It's passive income that comes in month after month. So what if you started out picking up one license that allowed you to have a little bit of passive income, and down the road you picked up a second one and a third one and a fourth one? Does that sound like a plan that makes sense to you? So in this case, she said, absolutely it does. 10 licenses. If you're telling me that I can get to, $1,800 a month, and I can take 1,500 of that out and put 300 away for long-term growth, that sounds like a good plan. I says, okay, does that sound like a plan that, makes sense to you to hedge the losses that you've had over here in your 401k, diversify? Now you have income cash flow potential with tremendous upside potential as well. She said, yeah. So she bought 10 licenses. It's $45,000. And guess what? I had the pleasure of reaching out to her a couple of weeks ago, and or a week ago. And I said, hey, congratulations. I hope, actually, no, I was joking with her. I said, hey, I just wanted to say I was sorry because I thought that it was going to be 1,800. I hope it's okay that it was 2,400 that came in your first month and not 1,800, because that's where she ended up after her first month. So how did she arrive at a place where she was willing, or let me better phrase this, she saw value in spending $45,000? How did I do that? Did I do it by saying, listen, let me tell you all about Nat G. Let me tell you all about this company. Let me tell you all about our satellite. No, I didn't. I asked questions, and I allowed her to be able to go through a process that allowed her to arrive at an educated decision that this made sense. And I didn't make the decision for her, nor did I advise her throughout the process. All I did is I asked her questions. Questions are the answer, and questions are how you establish value. I didn't get into ROIs. I didn't guarantee anything. All I talked about was what's happening today. She knows that past performance doesn't guarantee future results. But the last thing that you want to do is get into that conversation where you are telling your prospects, hey man, get into these rentals and you can double your money in 30 to 60 days. That's the worst position you can be in. Why? Because in 30 to 60 days, if they don't do it and the coin doesn't perform the way that we hope it will, they're going to come back to you and they're going to want to know why it didn't perform the way that it did. And that's a terrible feeling. But if you talk to them about, look, what if you could get involved in a project that paid you daily rewards every single day over the next 60 days? What if those tokens had tremendous upside potential? The reason why I say that is because this is the world's first company and the world's first projects that are backed by commodities that are in high demand. I know, based on what experts say, is that the cryptocurrency industry is going to go from 4% to 10% over the next 12 to 18 months. That means 4% of the population currently owns cryptocurrency, and as much as 10% will own cryptocurrency in the next 12 to 18 months. So the question that I have to ask myself is, what's going to move that needle? What's going to be the catalyst? And more importantly, how can I be a part of the solutions and even generate profits from that catalyst? And that's exactly what we have here. So that's why I believe that these tokens are so valuable, right? That's how you sell value. The value that Debtbox, the value that we bring to the table is the fact that we are providing commodity-backed projects. What is that? Stored value. You know what else is value? The fact that they had daily income potential. You know what else adds value? The fact that there's tremendous upside potential. That's the things that I talk about. I don't talk about ROI. The more you focus on price, the more you focus on the value of your product and the service, the less important the price becomes. I'm going to say that again. The more you focus on the value of your products and service, the less important the price becomes. I knew that we had something special here when I started sharing the X nodes early on in the first couple months I got started. And I would go out and I would talk about where we're at in the world today. I would talk about how I don't really know where to put my money because the housing market's overinflated. The stock market's a disaster, lost $10 trillion this year. And I don't even want to put money in the bank right now because I'm just losing money because of the cost of inflation. So I would talk about those things. And then I would say, I've found something that I'm very excited about that allows me to be able to have stored value, but at the same time, it provides income, daily income potential with tremendous upside potential as well. Would you like to look at it? And people would say, yeah, I relate to that. There's no easier way to share it than to just say that. Look, man, I don't know about you, but I don't know what you're doing with your money right now. But man, housing market stinks. The stock market stinks. And I don't even want to put my money in the bank right now. I found something. I found something that's giving me, stored value. That I don't have to worry so much about, going backwards, but also I'm having daily cash flow. And I have tremendous upside potential. You want to take a look at it? Look at this. Do you see this? These are my coins and tokens that literally are backed by commodities that are coming in real world, real time, right here. If I sent you a 17-minute little recorded presentation that just explained a little bit more about it, would you be open to listening to it? So the more that you focus on the value of your product and service, the less important the price becomes. Stop focusing on price. Stop selling price. Stop setting false expectations. What's the number one way to build value? To educate people, to ask questions, to listen, and to serve versus selling. When I asked questions with that prospect, when I took them through that process, I asked them questions that ultimately got them to acknowledge that something had to change. Now all I had to do is position myself as the change agent, because that's what I am as a change agent. I'm a dealer in hope. I give people more options in life. And if I can show them what it is that I'm a part of and what I'm offering can help them go from where they are to where it is that they want to be, guess what? They will see value. And that's the dots that you have to connect. You got to stop selling the facts about this project. You got to stop selling ROI. That's just that people lean on that because they're weak and they haven't learned the skills to truly build value. True value comes when you can help somebody. First of all, you need to learn and you need to understand where it is that they want to go. How do you do that? By asking questions. You need to establish if they're happy or dissatisfied with their current circumstances. And number three, you show them how you can make a difference in their life, right? That's really all I do. I ask questions, I listen, and I tell stories. Ask questions, listen, and I tell stories. And I help them to see how I can help them get what they want. You have the golden goose, you guys. People are struggling. People are suffering. You have what people are looking for. Let's talk a little bit about value. What is it the value that IX brings to the table? We give people more options in life. We give people an opportunity that they can build from their phone with a one-of-a-kind product that everybody needs and everybody wants if they take the time to look at it and understand it. I've never had somebody that has taken the time to truly and thoroughly understand what it is that we have to offer that hasn't at the very least they just say they can't afford it, but almost everybody wants it. So we have something that everybody wants. We give people more options in life. We offer a community of like-minded entrepreneurs that help you expand your mindset and your personal growth. Guys, I was in my early 20s, I was having this hard time because I still was kind of plugged into my high school friends who were going nowhere fast. But as I got into network marketing in my later 20s, I was introduced to this new world, and these people from the stage were talking about Financial Freedom Day. They were talking about legacy. They were talking about thinking bigger. They were talking about building your dream home, and they were talking about living life on your own terms, life by design. And these were all things that, I'd never really heard before. And so as I started to gravitate towards them, guess what happened? My friends made fun of me. I even got crap from my family members. My dad said to me when we hit we had really reached our first real milestone in this industry and had some good success. And our story was featured in a book, the book called The 4-Year Career by Richard Brooke. And, I was so happy and proud to call my mom and just tell her what we had accomplished. My mom was like my hero. And before she passed. So I called her and I said, look, I wanted to tell you the news. And so, and I says, will you tell Dad? And she's like, yeah, I'll tell him. And so later on, didn't get a call from him. That weekend, we went over to the house and he says, hey, he didn't say anything about it. I says, hey man, did you hear the news? Here's the book. Here's what he said to me. He said, Travis, that's awesome. He said, could you think of what you could have accomplished if you just went to college? Now, here I am making probably 4 to 5 times at this point in my career what an average person that graduated college would earn, but it didn't matter because in his mind, that's what people did. And I didn't choose that path because I've always been an entrepreneur and I've always just wanted to get out there and create. I share that story with you for a reason. I love my dad and I do think he's been a wonderful provider for our family, but sometimes you'll get more support from strangers than you will from the people that are closest to you. And you need to know that. And you need to be okay with it. I have very, very good friends of mine that won't acknowledge any of our success in this industry. They very rarely will write on my wall anything encouraging. Doesn't matter what level of success or achievements that we hit. They won't even acknowledge it. They just don't. For whatever reason, it's people are threatened by what they don't know, what they don't understand. And I've just learned to be okay with it. But yet, what's it worth to you to be part of a community like this, that you can get on calls like this and get mentored by people that have earned 7 figures for free? To be able to plug into individuals like Ricardo Hamilton, Mike Tharp, Boomy Moore, Cedric Harris, Ozzy, Joe, I could go on and on and on. Sarah, Kevin, just people that are doing it, that are getting it done. And you get around them and you just start to think bigger. You start to think, man, if I can have success here, and there's nothing more powerful than a mentor or somebody that believes in you. And we offer that community here, guys. What's that worth to you? What's that worth to be able to take somebody that doesn't believe in themselves and get them plugged into a community where they start thinking, man, maybe I can be successful in an environment like this. We offer a solution to companies who are struggling with sourcing products and ingredients. My last company, guys, I had so many shipping nightmares. I wanted to bang my head against a freaking wall. I couldn't deal with it anymore. We don't have to deal with that here. High speed, low drag, high speed, low drag. That's why we're having so much success. We got a product that nobody else has. Global opportunity. We teach financial fitness. Do you know in the time that I've come in here, I've paid off all of my debt. I have been able to establish multiple revenue streams, and I'm building a portfolio with licenses that 3 to 5 years from now will set me free completely. What's that worth? So you need to know the value of what you bring to the table. What do we also offer? What do the X nodes offer? Diversification alternatives in a down economy. Income producing asset. Again, passive residual income potential. Earning rewards without having to sponsor somebody. How many people do you know that have been in network marketing that just didn't have success? That if they knew they could come over here and get daily rewards without having to sponsor someone, what's that worth? With huge upside potential, to be a part of the first community in the world that introduces commodity-backed projects or projects that you can participate in. To be a part of a project that's raising the bar in the industry, that's going to be a change agent and essentially a catalyst that's going to help move the cryptocurrency space from 4% to 10%. What's that worth? I don't care about price today, because what's that going to be worth in 2 to 3 years? If you went back to Bitcoin and if you knew then what you know now, and I said to you, listen, it's worth 0.008 right now, but what's it going to be worth when we start to have adoption and people understand the power of a peer-to-peer network and a digital product that's cheaper, faster, more efficient? And what's that value worth, knowing that millions of people around the world are going to embrace that digital currency? What's that worth? Because see, I can see even in that situation, I would be able to see the value in the future based on that conversation today. And that, my friends, is the magic. That's what's going to allow you to be able to go from selling $250 to $500 nodes to $10,000 to $25,000 packages of nodes. When you can help people understand the vision based on the value of what we're bringing to the table, what's that going to be worth over the next couple of years? What's it worth to have a project or projects that are backed by commodities? You've got this different categories. You've got category one, crypto enthusiasts that are tired of meme coins and pump and dumps that say, hey, here's a project over here that's backed by something tangible, something real, substance, not hype. So they're running. But over here, you've got this other category of people that have been watching crypto. They don't quite understand it. They're scared of the volatility, but now they're seeing a commodity-backed crypto coin and saying that is something that I could stand behind. What's that worth? What's a community like that worth? Guys, it's worth it. It's priceless. That's why I don't care about the price today. We just launched these projects. All of our projects are 4 to 5 months old. We're in a bear market. In 2018, we went about, probably 16 months where literally crypto did nothing. Some days it was down, it was depressing. And then all of a sudden, one day, shoots to the moon. Promise you, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. So why not be a part of the projects that are bringing true substance to the industry, knowing that could happen again in the future? Right? That worth $250 to start accumulating some tokens today? I can't guarantee you an ROI, but I can guarantee you some tremendous upside potential with some good stored value. So guys, that's how those are the conversations that I have. At the end of the day, here are the 4 things that we do as network marketing professionals, but you got to learn to establish value. You got to get away from price. You got to get away from, ROI conversations and guarantees and all of that stuff that is going to get us in trouble. Stop setting false expectations and start selling possibility. Start asking questions and listening. And I promise you, those will ultimately lead your prospects to the answers. So that's really what I have for you guys today. I don't see the chat that's open here. So let me see if there's any questions that I can get into. Let's see here. Where are my questions, Kramer? Can I see questions? I don't even know if I can see questions. I don't know why I don't see questions. Oh, enable chat. Okay, hang on a second here. By the way, I'm not taking any questions if if it's not relative to today's conversation. I'm not, corporate IX Global, so I don't know why your note is not assigned yet or any of that stuff. So I'm not, if you've got some questions pertaining to today's conversation, then let's hear it. So I just enabled the chat. Got some value out of today. I'd love to hear it, and would love to hear. What is your forecasting about NATG going to 0-1? So again, I don't forecast how many more months or PV does it take. So again, I don't focus on price. I focus on value. I believe in the upside potential. BGLD versus NATG token, your opinion? Gosh, that's a hard question. I have both. I think both of them have tremendous upside potential. I don't think that BGLD has done anywhere near what it's done. I think BGLD is a great price right now. Hold on, let me go through some of these. They're coming in fast here. We'll get the recorded up, no problem. Thank you so much, Marshanda. I appreciate it. We're excited to be able to go to Africa next week, guys. I got to go get my yellow fever shot here pretty soon. I'm not looking forward to that today. When do I see NATG royalty coming into the picture? We've set up the extraction process. Takes a little bit longer to get in, I would say. And again, don't quote me on anything. This is just based on my opinions, but I think that you'll see the regular burns coming in from NATG starting probably in the first quarter from the sale of the actual crude sales. But don't quote me on that. That's just my expectation. Thank you. Appreciate it. Debt token. So everything that we're doing internally is focused on getting to Binance, just so you guys know. They're dotting their I's and they're crossing their T's. But everything internally is focused on getting to Binance. Why? Because once a token hits Binance, you can see that token go up anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000%. And if you understand how our projects are all paired to the debt token, a rising tide raises all ships. So that's what we're looking for. Let's see here. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Glad you got some value out of today. I appreciate it. Illum versus NatG. So again, going back to the beginning conversation, going back to the beginning conversation, it really comes down to your goals. You know, are you focused more on cash flow right now and you want to maximize your 5 or 6 grand, then go buy 3 or 4 aluminum, right? But if you're looking for accumulation and mass accumulation with tremendous upside potential, then NatG is looking pretty strong, right? So, and the fact that there's only 300 NatG left, I mean, man, regret is the price. What is it? What's that saying? I'm not thinking clearly today because I got a cold. But the price of regret. It's. I can't tell you how many people wish they bought a black gold after they sold out. So for me, only 300 NatG left. I definitely would jump on it. What will be the newer prices of Explorer and aluminum? I think that I heard that they were doubling in price, but don't quote me on that. You'll find out. Get on Monday's call for sure. I don't have that information. Maybe Ozzy or Kramer, if you guys know, you can jump in on that. I don't remember what he said the price was going to go up, but I think he said they were going to go up. They're going to double, if I recall. All right. I think there's a lot of stuff coming in. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up for today, you guys. Hope you guys have a great day today. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. We are part of an amazing community. Very grateful to Joe and Brian Robert, my sponsor, and to all of the amazing individuals that are at corporate. You guys know that when you grow from 20 million to 150 million, it puts a tremendous amount of stress on the back office and on the infrastructure. And these guys are doing, working around the clock to be able to accommodate not only where we're at now, but get us to 500 million next year. You're going to hear some really good announcements over the next couple of weeks that are pertaining to the infrastructure that I think you guys are going to be very happy about, as well as some really good updates to the back office that I think are going to expedite the process. All right. Well, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I got to do this presentation twice, so hopefully you guys somewhere along the way, everybody had a chance to plug in. We'll get the recording up, and you guys have an outstanding day today. Thank you so much.